somebody. So I've never done this before. I feel like, you're an official vlogger once you start talking to yourself in your camera while you're in the car driving. So yeah, not to say I'm official or anything, but this is the first time to be vlogging in the car. And I have had a big day, a big week. I'm emotionally exhausted in a really good way. Like, I've had a great week, but I just said goodbye to 2 respite placements, 2 little girls from different families, and they were just a joy. They were so fun to have, but lots of new experiences as a foster mom, with 2 girls that were older, who could talk, who could tell me about their cases, who could tell me what they were feeling and experiencing, but they had a blast. At the same time, they had such a good time together. Like, it was a really fun week. Both of them did amazing. I think it was probably good for both of them, just for the change of scenery, change of, sibling dynamics and things like that from their foster homes, and it was just so much fun for me. But yeah, I'm emotionally exhausted just thinking about these girls and what they're going through and what they have to process, all these big people emotions in little bodies, big people problems and big people worries, big people issues that they had no choice to be in and are facing. And people say kids are resilient, and I don't think that's really it. Like, these things are affecting them, and as resilient as they are, these issues that they've been handed in life, they're not fair. They're not fair at all. And my heart broke like this entire week throughout all of the really fun things that we did. My heart was just absolutely breaking for these girls in the situations that they're in. I'm not going to explain them, but I think more than anything, it just made me want to do this big call out for people to get on board to foster. Get on board to foster. Figure out, learn, go to classes to learn trauma-informed parenting, trauma-informed care, and get into fostering. Think about adopting. I can't go into details about why those thoughts are on my mind, but never more than after this week have I thought, we just need more amazing foster parents who will do anything to give kids love and care and help them heal from the things that they didn't choose to have happen in their lives. So yeah. Also, the reason why I'm in the car and I thought about vlogging is because the last time I really had some vlog style posts on Singly Loving was when I had my last little foster guy, and I am actually on my way to go visit him with his relative who's taking care of him. He's just nearby. They're in town, so I'm gonna get to go visit them, and I'm so excited. Again, that's just adding to the emotion of all of this today, is just how special it is to have these relationships, family members, with bio family. Man, foster care is so much more than just being a temporary parent to kids. It is this community and these experiences that I would have never had. You can't get these experiences anywhere else in life, I think, than if you're a foster parent. Another thing that happened this week that has to do with that is the amount of people I have interacted with and had conversations with that are involved with the foster care system or social services, children's services, that kind of thing. Several times this week I ran into other foster parents. One time at the park, I had this amazing conversation with, it was a great aunt or something like that, a grandmother type figure to some girls. I just went over because little girl I had was playing with this little girl. They were the same age, and just started a conversation with her, and she opened up right away about how her it's like her great nieces or something like that are just in this whole mess with their bio family and their parents, and the case is going this way and that, and she's frustrated with how Children's Services handled it, and we just had this great conversation where I could just truly empathize with her and lament with her about how hard these things are for these kids, and you can just see her heart for these nieces or sort of grandchildren that she had, and just trying to figure out like how to take care of their mom while taking care of them and taking care of all these people that are involved when a child is in foster care. And at the end of this conversation, we had to go, but she was just like, hey, do you ever do babysitting, and what do you charge? And I was just able to say, let me be a blessing to you. Like, whatever you feel like you can or want to contribute, I would love to take care of these girls if you need it. And she was like, we're taking so-and-so to rehab, and I don't know what we're going to do with the girls, and I can't really afford much. And gosh, as a foster parent, I just feel so blessed that it is not even a thought. And I say, I will take care of them. And she knows that she can trust me because I'm a licensed foster parent, and we had literally just met at the park. And so one of these days, probably pretty soon, I'm going to take care of these girls, or one of these girls, while they need it. So anyway, I love being a foster parent. It just makes me want to have this huge call out, like, more people do this. Like, if you love kids, if you want to take care of kids, and you can love the child, their family, their extended family, your neighbor, your friend at the park, I just think, like, more people get on board with this. It's amazing. Like, it will add so much to your life. I just keep thinking it's going to add so much to your life. It has added so much to my life. Experiences that I would never have through any other avenue in life except foster care. So I'm at the gas station now, and I'm gonna get out and get some gas. So I'll see you guys later. All right, friends, I am back at the videoing myself in the car thing. It's a little bit more nerve-wracking when I'm going slow and there's people around and they might see me. Oh boy. A little bit embarrassing. Anyway, they don't know me. Okay, so since I started this channel to chronicle what it's been like being a foster mom, just to be able to, for myself, remember this journey, as well as hopefully encourage some of you who are watching along this journey, I wanted to mention a couple of the really cute things that happened with the girls this week. So they're from totally different families, met for the very first time at my house. One was 7 and one was 5. So the 7-year-old had come a couple of days earlier. When the 5-year-old showed up, they were standing at the door and talking, and the one's foster mom was with her and dropping her off. And the other little girl that was there, she said something, my foster mom did this or that. And the little girl that had just shown up said, "You have a foster mom too? I have a foster mom?" She said, "Yeah, I have a foster mom." And they were just like, "Oh, like we both have foster moms." Just like this cool connection, because foster kids don't often meet other foster children. It's not, it doesn't come up in conversation a lot. And just the amount of time when these two girls were together, just the squealing and giggling and laughing and playing and joking. The one little girl, like, pretty early on was starting to call the other little one sis. And that little girl, she loved it. She went along with it. And they'd say, "Hey, sis, come do this with me." "Okay, sis, coming." And it was really cute. And the first girl, the older girl, she started to get annoyed with it. And every now and then we'd hear, "You're not my real sister, She'd be like, "Oh, I know, you're not my real sister. We're just pretending, right? It's fun to be sisters." So that kind of thing. And there was one day, if you follow my Instagram, Singly Loving on Instagram, if you follow it, you may have seen my story where they had just been such troopers one day. I looked at this house this past week and put an offer in on it. Totally random, a little bit spontaneous, but it was a really cool house. I'm not really looking for a new house, but I kind of have my eye out for something that might be a little bit more conducive for the foster care situation, where, you know, maybe I have a backyard. I don't really have one right now. Maybe a second bathroom, things like that. Again, I'm not really looking. Anyway, I went and looked at this house because it's 2 houses down from one of my really good friends who's another foster mom, and it was just an awesome house. So I put an offer in on it and didn't get the house. But anyways, they were such troopers that day and did so well. Sat in the realtor's office and played so nicely and drew and colored and were so sweet and kind to each other. And so that evening I wanted to give them a little treat. I don't do a lot of treats in my house, but I wanted to give them a little treat. And so a friend actually texted me that they were going to go to the ice cream shop, and it's like a place that has like a petting zoo and it's a dairy, so they make their own ice cream there and all that. So I was going to give them a treat anyways, and I thought this would be perfect. So they were already in their pajamas after we played at the splash pad and took showers, and we were eating dinner. And after dinner I said, "You girls were so great today, you know, blah, blah, blah. I want to give you a special surprise. So go put your clothes back on." And they just started squealing and screaming. They're so excited. What is it? What is it? What are we doing? And then I went up there and they had their clothes on. I said, "Okay, girls, here's a surprise. We're going to get ice cream." And they just screamed their heads off. We're so excited. It was such a cool moment. They were both like, "You're the best mom ever!" It was just really sweet. So there was lots of moments like that. There was moments of tears, moments of hard, and then really sweet moments of cuddles, and where they gave each other hugs, and they just wanted to sit and cuddle. At night we read stories, and they were just the sweetest. We said prayers together, and the one little girl, she always offered to pray and had the most genuine prayers to God. One of the little girls went to church. She doesn't go to church often, and had gone with me on Sunday and loved her Sunday school class. We saw some of the kids later that day at another event, and we're like, "Oh, you were in my class. I remember you from church." And that day I think she wanted to tell me the story of Jesus. She would have told it all day. Like, she just kept saying, "Do you want to hear the story of Jesus again?" And she would recap this little video they had watched in Sunday school, just this short little part of Jesus's life. It was the cutest thing, and they were asking me all kinds of questions. They're so sweet to each other. The older girl and the younger girl, they kind of fit in really well with, like, being the older sister, younger sister kind of dynamic. So that was sweet to see. It was a blast. Like, I got to be just kind of that fun aunt for a week, but also there was moments of, like, you know, the real parenting, some correction. Overall, amazing. Had lots of really cute moments with them. I wish I could remember them all. One of the little girls would just, out of nowhere, out of her mouth would come, like, these adult phrases, not like bad things, just kind of like mature, silly, kind of like cliche things that adults say. And it would come out of her little 5-year-old body, and I'd be like, "What did you just say?" So I laughed a lot this week. I had fun just kind of being a kid with them. We spent a lot of our days at the park. Pretty much in the morning we go to the park, we do something in the middle, and then we'd go back to the park. So that was a great way to get their energy out, and they slept really good. The first night, where the one little girl was a little rough, she came out of her room a lot, and then after that settled right in, and she did great. So it was a great week. I highly encourage anyone who's available to do respite to do that. It might be a great way to enter into the foster care system, is to be open to doing respite. You get to see and experience like a fraction of what these kids go through. Maybe a little bit of the behaviors toned down, if they are children who have behaviors, because, you know, you're a new person to them and you might not get to see all of it. I know I did not see all of what their foster families probably see of them. And it was a great experience for me with some older girls. First time having girls and first time having older children. So I loved it. I think it gave me that courage that, okay, like I could have an older child, like longer term, if that's what God needs me to do. And so yeah, I do want to encourage other people, get involved with respite care. If you're not sure that foster care full-time is what you can really do right now, but you want to help the system, then respite care would be a great way to do that. And another thought that I just wanted to plug in here at the end is just the fact that in this system, there's a place for everybody, for every kind of parent, or every kind of potential foster or adoptive kind of parent. There's probably a child in the system for that, but I do want to mention how much, probably the majority of the time, just parents who are willing to embrace the hard, embrace the messy, embrace the ambiguity, and not be sure what is going to happen. Because there are some fantastic, I would say probably the majority of the kids in the system needing a foster parent or temporary parent are amazing children who can heal in your home, and would thrive in your home. But not everybody is willing to foster, and certainly not everybody is willing to adopt. And a lot of days that's me, being the person who's not willing to adopt. And if you could just see these kids and be willing to not be in a rush for that child who will eventually be you will be their forever home. If you're willing to not rush and wait for God to provide that child, there are kids who need homes and could be perfect in your home. I don't know if that's making sense right now. It's just kind of where I've come to after this week and just some of the experiences that I've had in these little girls. And I just want to encourage more people to be willing to take a step forward, not know what's going to happen. Use wisdom, of course, but be willing to step in and see where God needs you and what child is going to be put in your home. Like every single time I've had a foster child, including these respite placements in my home, it's like, oh my gosh, like God knew what I needed. God knew what they needed. Like this is such a good match. Even the way that these two girls, completely random that they came at the same time. I just happened to get 2 calls. I happened to have 2 beds, and they were amazing together. 2 other different children may not have worked that well, and this was just so good, I think, for both of them, and for me. And so anyway, all that to say, I hope you are encouraged. I hope if there was something you learned in this, that you'd pray about maybe what the next step is. And yeah, feel free to leave a comment down below. I'd love to know if you're thinking about fostering. There is a truck just merging into me. That's okay. I'm paying attention here. If you're encouraged by something, if you're thinking about fostering, if you've considered respite, let me know down below. I'd love to interact with you guys and build a community here. Let your friends know if you think that this would be helpful for them. Feel free to do that. So anyway, everybody, thank you so much for watching and bearing with me as I multitask here. It actually wasn't that hard. Now I see why people do it. It's almost like it's a little bit easier to just chat with you while I'm driving. It's like talking with a friend in the car. Anyway, everybody, I'll talk to you later. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.